I'm now joined now in the studio by the managing partner of SBM Intelligence, Ikemesit Effiong. Hello, and very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us, what sample did you use? You said you used just a little over 800 persons to conduct this. How water or tight proof is this?
Well, statistically, we're reasonably confident within 5 to 10% being the margin of error that these respondents who were carefully chosen, again, for their geographic spread, critically the fact that they have their permanent voters cards and have expressed the likelihood to vote in next year's elections, also taking account of the demographic differences across gender, across income demographics and the likes. We feel this is a statistically representative snapshot of the overall electorate. Now, obviously, we only focused on 8 states in this particular cycle, but this is a tracker that we hope to update on a rolling basis as we get closer towards the elections, and also roll out and spread it out to more states.
I'm glad you just said that.
On a national basis.
8 out of 36 plus 1 FCT as states. But how truly reflective would you say this poll, some people opinion, is?
Well, it is, the way we see it, it is a snapshot at this point in time of how Nigerians generally feel about the state of the country, how they feel about the performance of the political leadership, and what they are reading on the key tentpole issues that are shaping Nigeria right now. Is you look at a fact, for example, that 79% of respondents in our poll said they are very concerned about insecurity and the economy, right, put together. And that tells you its own story about what the track record of the current administration married to the lived experience of Nigerians is with respect to insecurity. On the economy, something like 58+% though don't appear to be as anxious about the economy as a standalone issue, which also lends credence, right, to the fact that the government may have scored some important points, right, on its reform agenda. Obviously, stability in the price of fuel, for example, right, somewhat somewhat familiar stability with respect to the currency, albeit at a much higher bar, which has impacted, obviously, the cost of everyday goods and items, right, in the country.
Yes. I'm just going to ask you again, but do you think that your, sample size, like we talked, earlier, the demographic, the spread, will capture the 200 million Nigerians?
Well, statistically, right, there are various models that researchers, right, use in order to get a useful snapshot of what a wider pool of respondents, right, are likely to say. We led off the front in essentially saying this is essentially a dipstick survey. It's the first wave. We have a lot of experience, and we've done polling in past election cycles with much larger sample sizes. And we particularly picked these 8 states because we collect very regular socioeconomic data, right, in these states going back 13 years, right? And so we have a very good context for these 8 states spread across all of Nigeria's geopolitical zone, obviously including the federal capital. So we're reasonably confident, right, that the respondent pool that we put together and the insights that gave us is useful as a starting point in terms of understanding where the headspace of the average Nigerian
And with
is.
the disillusionment from 8 out of 10 people that you polled or sampled their opinion, that's kind of despondency there. What would you be advising government to do?
one, they should not take that disconnect, right, between what they are trying to do from a governance standpoint and what the lived experience of the average Nigerian is. 8 in 10 by any metric is a very substantial development worth passing through. Just thinking through all of the stories that you've covered this evening, from the court judgment with respect to INEC, the registering political parties, and we did test sentiment right around the main political parties in this election cycle, to the story around the rescue of the army general's wife, and everything. All of these issues are things that, as Nigerians are thinking through who their choice, right, would be in terms of the next leadership to take Nigeria forward, these are the issues and these are the stories that are feeding into that wider sense of discontent on the part of the Nigerian electorate in what the government is doing. So it's to take that learning and try to figure out how to be more proactive in addressing those bread and butter concerns around insecurity, the economy, jobs, inflation, taxation, that the average Nigerian is clearly feeding back and signaling to the government.
Great, and thanks so very much for coming on Newsnight. Ikemesit Effiong is the managing partner of SBN International. Thank you.
Thank you.